Morning Ireland on RTE Radio 1.
And you're very welcome back to the programme. Tanya is here with the business news.
Thank you, Audrey. Well, it might be difficult to think about home heating in this weather, but the Cabinet last week advanced the new heat bill, approving it for the introduction to the Oireachtas later this year. The bill is designed to enable the rollout of district heating, and according to the Minister for Climate and Energy, approximately 80% of heat demand in Dublin could be met by district heating by 2050. The progression of the bill was welcomed by the Irish District Heating Association, and its CEO, Pauline O'Reilly, is with us in the studio this morning. Thank you for joining us, Pauline. What is central heating and why would Ireland need more of it?
Well, district heating is something basically where you have the exact same thing as in your house, heating system, but the hot water is coming from outside of your house or your building. So it's something that we're not familiar with in Ireland, but actually it is rolled out across Europe, particularly in Scandinavia. We're listening to the news about the Straits of Hormuz, oil prices rocketing, gas, and we really are at, I suppose, the mercies of the geopolitical situation. What Scandinavia did when the oil crisis hit, and what we didn't do, was to invest in district heating, where you have local sources of heat, it's controlled, and they have been relatively insulated from those price shocks. So district heating is more efficient. It is also cleaner because it'll be from renewable sources or waste sources in Ireland. But it's also something that prevents that kind of insecurity and instability. And it's the missing piece of the puzzle when it comes to energy in Ireland, because we really have so far to go. Over 90% of our heating is from fossil fuels.
As a former Green Party senator, you're advocating for it being a renewable solution, and data centres are being one of the source. Explain how that works, and would that make us again more dependable on private tech companies?
Well, at the moment, we can see that, depending on what figures you use, between 50 and 80% of the electricity in Dublin is being used for data centres. That is a reality. What we can do with data centres, but with other industrial waste, is we can use the water that's coming off those data centres to heat buildings and homes. And we've done a study that showed that actually there's enough waste heat in Ireland to heat every single building in the country. At the moment, it's just going into the rivers, it's just going into the air. It's not toxic, but it's just completely wasteful. So there actually is a district heating centre in Tallaght. It takes waste heat from a data centre. It heats it slightly, and then it sends it across the road to TU Dublin, to South County Council buildings, to apartment block, to social housing unit. So it's a real opportunity. But the crucial thing about district heating is, because it's outside of your home, it's outside of your building, you don't actually need to make the decision, am I going down the route of waste heat, of battery storage, of geothermal, of air source? All of those decisions are made by a heat centre. All you need to decide is, do I want to turn on my heating today? Do I want to not turn it on in the exact same way as you normally would? So there is real flexibility with what kind of heat you use. So if something goes, you replace it with something else. And what's happening at the moment, and we're doing research on a project in Tallaght, is to put in battery storage. You couldn't do that in every single home in the country. So it's much more efficient.
But many consumers do enjoy this autonomy, having this boiler or heat pump at home and having control over their own heating. Will they have that control over how warm the house is, when it's warm, and all of those things?
Yeah, and I think historically and certainly in other parts of Europe that introduced this in much earlier times, there was worry that, and it did happen, where it's some remote operator. That's not what we're talking about here. The same way as you complete control about turning on or off your lights, you're not generating your own electricity. You still have complete control with the electricity coming in. You have complete control in this as well with when you turn on and off, in the exact same way as you do at the moment. You have the same radiators, you have the same pipes, nothing changes except that the hot water is coming from outside your house.
And very briefly, will it bring prices down?
Yes, it should bring prices down, and nobody's going to sign up to it if it's not cost effective, because much and all as, we really need to deal with the climate crisis, it also has to be something that is that consumers are protected when it comes to price.
Pauline O'Reilly, CEO of the Irish District Heating Association, thank you for joining us, and we'll have more business news in the next